Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody, welcome to Lipstick Radio's Sound Booth. I was getting ready to say happy hour because I'm so used to saying happy hour. And I'm reaching for my
That's
drink
cool
while I'm
too.
saying it, right?
Happy hour works.
Happy hour does work. And I tell you, right after this interview, I am going to go get very happy with some champagne.
I'm with
Take
you.
the hour, right?
I'm with you. Nah.
I'll take it 1 hour to get happy.
One, look, I'm going to be counting down. Okay, hello is one. No. But anyway, guys, welcome to Sound Booth. It's been a while since we've done Sound Booth, so I'm glad that you guys are able to tune in with us today. And today I'm excited because we got, two of my favorite new, I'm going to say play brothers on the team.
Yes.
We got the Office Boys New York in the house. Say what's up,
Yes.
guys.
Hello. How you
Yes,
doing?
yes. Peace. What's good, peoples?
So, and then we got, of course, Mr. E. Breeze in the house. You know, you may not recognize his face, but you'll definitely recognize his voice from doing a lot of the voiceovers on Lipstick Radio. Go ahead and give him that voice, Eric.
E Breeze.
Uh-oh. Eric, you sound like the dude in Mad Head. What is that? Max Headroom? Your sound is not coming through.
No, it's not.
The Matrix.
Uh-oh. Okay, we're gonna rag on whatever carrier he has, right?
Exactly. Android.
Percent.
Okay, well, I got the last part of what you said, so at least we got to hear a little clip of your voice. It's all good. Maybe it'll come in soon. I'm hoping so, because his voice is definitely. I'm telling you guys probably want that voice on one of your songs. Trust me.
We're gonna
There
plug
it
in.
is.
That's what it is.
Got it, Lane. There it is. Hey, you hear that? That's how the Office Boys work. The agreement just been made. Yo, we need him on Eardrum Love, son. Word up.
Anyway, you guys, I had asked the Office Boys to join me on Sound Booth because, number one, they are such great people, not to mention talented, but just really great people. And they're very innovative, and they've got a lot going on. They've done a lot. I had a wonderful conversation with Smiz yesterday, and I think we probably went on for almost 2 hours
Yes.
talking yesterday.
Love
And we had a
power.
really, really great time.
That's what I'm talking about.
And, I just really, things that we were talking about, we're going to reiterate because it was just real good information for people to hear. But first, before we get into all the good indie stuff, I want to find out more about them, how they got started, what motivated them, who you guys look up to, as far as, who motivated you to get in the game, and what motivated you guys to learn more about the industry. Like, did you have an experience like somebody in the room that had that contract and said,
I
okay,
put two
that'll
hands
never
up for
happen.
that.
Right, hands up on the contracts.
Like, right?
It might be a nice T-shirt.
Right. Right.
So who wants to go first, Dom or Smiz?
You know what? I just wanna. I'm gonna jump in real quick. Double
Please
Dutch
do, 'cause
style, bro.
I always talk too much. Take the road, man. I'm the
First,
number.
I just want to say that it's a pleasure to finally meet you. You know what I mean? My brother spoke very highly of you, and I know once he got you in the power session, I know beautiful things will come. You know what I mean? So
You already
I
know.
want to say I appreciate you for having us on. This innovative in itself. This ill. Well, to start, Office Boys emerged because me and Smith was actually part of the Brooklyn Ghetto Mentality. I had to go through my little boot camp on my training because I wasn't actually a part of the group first. It was Smiz and my other brothers, P Bombay and Fully Loaded Mac. So I was the young guy running away, putting in his stripes. And my older brother, Bombay, heard me and he wanted to bring me to the table, but Smiz is like, I don't know this young cat. Like, everybody can rhyme. So
Right.
it took some time, but until one day when P Bombay starts singing some verses from my song, Smiz is like, yo, who that? And he like, yo, that's the young dude Villa. So from there, they just brought me in. You know what I mean? They showed me the ropes as far as how to do it independent, because I was already a solo artist, but I was with another group. And Ghetto Men, Office Boys just emerged because me and Smith's work ethic was crazy. He was already the business head for Ghetto Men, and I was my own business head. So I came in just being an artist, and they anointed me the president of the company within like maybe a year, 2 years. So from there, the work ethic with me and Smith just was so heavy that Office Boys NY emerged as we don't never leave the office, we don't never leave the booth. I'm taking care of kids, I'm changing diapers, I'm doing everything.
And he told me about that yesterday.
Yeah, I got a lot of hats. I do a lot of balancing acts, but basically Office Boys NY emerged from there, from the group Ghetto Men, just because of me and Smith's camaraderie and our work ethic. And for one, that we both understood that business is not just enough to be a great artist nowadays. You gotta know your business. You don't have to be Donald Trump. You don't have to be a seasoned dude, real thorough, but you at least gotta know the basics, because knowing the basics could protect yourself as well as your works. And I think that's the core of Office Boys NY, and that's what we represent. Own yourself and empower yourself, and work hard for yourself first than anybody else. And that's kind of how Office Boys NY came together.
That's awesome. And that's one of the things he was talking about yesterday. And I love the fact that you guys educated yourselves in, copywriting and the point system and all of that stuff, and then you're sharing it. So you're not just hoarding it, you're actually helping other artists, and you're sharing it so that they can get the knowledge. Because a lot of these cats, as we were mentioning, everybody wants to be in the game, everybody wants the fame and stuff, but they never take the time out to educate themselves on the little things like that. So then while they're on the stage and they singing and they getting all this press, but then there's no funds going in the bank. I mean, hello, can we say TLC? Because they didn't know any better. They trusted them, and then they got into a really bad contract. And it just really sucks. So really, really love the fact that you guys do that, because that's kind of my mission, is to help educate, so that people can, move forward in your craft, but move forward educated so that you can make the best decisions for your career. Exactly. So, Smith, what do you want to add to that?
Villa basically said everything that needed to be said, but I think the only thing he left out is, like, with my record, I'm Grinding, and with Villa's record, Smell the Roses, with us, even though we've been in groups, this was like our first solo project. For all the years we've done music, this was like our first solo project, our first solo songs, and it was like, yo, why should I have to wait and drop my album, then you drop yours, and vice versa? Like, yo, let's drop it together. You push your single out, push my single out. It's not a competition. It's like, when you see Villa, you see me. When you see me, you see Villa. So it was like, yo, let's just go hard, because if we don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. I don't want to depend on no family, no brothers being mad at people because they're not putting in the work ethic that we want them to. They like to enjoy the fame of it. Everybody get on stage, and afterwards, everybody want to say, yeah, that's my group. Everybody claimed us as their group. But with the grind work, nobody want to put in that 24-hour grind. So I'm like, yo, V, we got to do this. Son. If nobody else going to do it, let's do it for ourselves, because these are our songs. So it was like, yo, son, we don't never go to sleep, son. We always in the office. Like, yo, we the office boys, man. The office boys of New York, man, because we always in the office, and we not going to stop until we break through the skin, so to speak. We wanted to see some type of results of the effort, because I got tired of hearing people say it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of this and that. I'm just here to say, the grind we put in took no money.
Tell them.
It took just grind, dedication, and consistency. Consistency. Staying on top of what is you doing. Being in the public eye with whoever your audience is. Awareness. That's the key. Me, I say the number one key to marketing is acknowledgement, being seen. I don't care if they like me. I don't care if they dislike me. If you see me, I done step one. Yeah, now I work on trying to, drill you in the head, because I'm not going to give up. I'm going to bang you in the head. My song, I'm Grinding, Smell the Roses, been spinning for how long now, son?
Well, about a year now.
About a year.
Yeah.
And it's in rotation. That has come from a consistent grind. pushing it, keeping it fresh, because it's like we independent. So while 10 or 11 stations on my side might have heard the song, you got 10 other stations elsewhere who never heard the song. So when they get it, it's a new song. It's like a new rebirth. So, you know, the Office Boys, it was a natural progression. We the Office Boys, whether we came up with a name or not, we in the office 24 hours. For one, I like checks coming to my mailbox. I mean, I don't want to go to nobody asking y'all.
I second that. And
exactly.
That's why we
I don't want to have to sit down and do the breakdown. Okay, out of 15%, I get this. My lawyer get this 9.
Right.
Let me give you your cut. I'm a boss. Yo, let me boss this up. Let me cut you in. You feel
and that's
me?
Why we spell our name right. That's why we spell our
One of our listeners has a question for you guys. Okay. He says, how do you feel about a marketing budget?
Depends on who putting the budget up. If somebody else putting the budget up, I love it. If I got to put the budget up, well, you know what? The thing about a marketing budget, I think, is you got to know your brand. You got to know your brand. You have to know your audience, and you got to know what it is that entices them. So I love a marketing budget. You know, it doesn't. To me, the amount of the budget doesn't matter. I can take a little bit of money and make just as big an impact as if it was $100,000 budget, I think, because I know the simple steps that it takes. A lot of the simple steps don't require money. It just requires time and consistency. And that's just my perspective.
The add on from the Prezi standpoint, a lot of times artists fail to realize they market. You know what I mean? Like, even though hip hop is big, you know what I mean? You as an artist, you have to know your market first. That's the best way to kind of work a budget or make sure a budget is effective. Because to be honest, a lot of independent artists got shoestring budgets. You know what I mean? Taking their bill money. You know what I mean? So if you do have, if you are in a space where you're fortunate to get a marketing budget, don't be frivolous with that money. Crunch them numbers. You know what I mean? Because taking that dollar a long way, we did things without money. We tried to do everything as free as possible, even when we did have a little bit of money. But marketing budgets is very important when you know what you want to do, you know your brand, you know where you should be, and you know what markets you need to touch. So marketing budget is very important, whether it's big or small. But before you even start spending that money, I think you need to know where it is you want to promote, who it is you want to promote to, and go there and go from there. And you definitely do need a marketing budget. I see my man Doc. I see my man Doc. He right. You do need the budget, but again, for some artists, they gotta understand when you do. Look at some of the acts you mentioned. TLC. We know a lot of major artists who had huge budgets, and they just felt, you know what, I got a deal, and they didn't pay attention to it. So they might have a manager or some producers and all that. They might have 150 grand or $250,000 budget, and people buying cars and all of that with them. Instead of them saying, look, we got $250,000, let's see how vital or important or the correct places we need to spend that money. So if you do got a budget, it is very important, and you need to know where to spend your money. Crunch them numbers.
That's very true. Can you say something, Eric?
Can you hear me? Am I still back to the room?
It's a little bit better.
Okay. The other side of the budget, where's that money coming in? You see that to make that money.
My man E. Breeze sound like he said something beautiful. Wow, I just can't.
Can you say that again, Eric?
I was talking about where do you see the money coming in? You know, we were talking about one side of the budget, but the other. What do you see as the money that's going to help fund everything that you're doing? Because the cost is always, but what do you see your money coming in from?
Right now, I think what any independent artist need to know, and I'm gonna share this nugget off his boy Mr. Professional. No, if you don't know, with one song, it is 40 ways to make revenue off of one song. this is what we have acquired, the knowledge we have acquired. So now the playing field has been leveled. So it's not just about CD money. We understand that CDs is not selling as well as it used to be. So CDs can be one stream of revenue. You have licensing that you can start dabbling into, publishing, of course, performing shows and things of that nature. There's so many ways nowadays that you can make it, and even branding yourself. The important thing is that if artists start acknowledging that or being aware that they have to brand themselves, you open yourself up to many revenue streams. You could do modeling maybe for a clothes thing. Everybody do the cliche thing with the liquor and all that, but I think when an artist sees a bigger picture for themselves, and I'm just more than a rapper, you create more revenue streams for yourself. Even if you're an artist with my partner and I, we might write songs for other artists and create revenue streams that way. We wrote our first R&B song for a book. It was a book called Music Meets. It was a project we created with the author Arlene Brathwaite called Music Meets Literature. Now she sell books, and we wrote a song to kind of help, encourage reading. So as artists, I don't think, if you know your brand is specifically, I think it's millions of ways, it's limitless ways to get money. It definitely is. Legally, it's a lot of ways to get money. But it's just about knowing your brand. With Office Boys and Why, we know we don't put no limits to ourselves. So we can write an R&B song, we can work with a reggae artist, and then outside of that, we work with authors on projects such as Music Meets Literature, where we create other revenue streams outside of just selling a CD. You could publish a book, you know what I mean? Go to seminars, talk to some of the youth. When you're doing shows, merchandising is still a huge way to build revenue, not just T-shirts. You got so many things. You can make a bracelet, and I'll let y'all in on the secret. Prezi, we talking about diapers and all of that. Like, we trying to, any way that we could build revenue streams to fuel back into the business, because I think that's what's important. If you getting money, don't just be frivolous with that money and spend that money. You got to kind of recycle that money right back into your business until you get to a point where profit is really profit, where you're not spending money and then you hurting, you looking at your partner with that eye like, I don't know if we gonna make it. So again, revenue, to answer your question, easy breeze. The revenue could be built in limitless ways if the artist knows their brand and they're not scared to kind of cross market.
I like what you're saying, because it does matter about investing. You go back to what you've been saying about your brand. What is your brand? How did you come up to establish that?
Monica, I'll take it if it's.
Wait, hold on a second. Smith, do me a favor, because you're muted. Unmute yourself. Click on, just hover over the screen.
Bam, there we go.
There you go.
There we go. I knew something was wrong. I was trying to chime in.
I can't hear you.
I'm the brand new dude. Branding, to me, really the brand is about, to me, I'm thinking the brand is more or less about your aura, your style, what it is that attracts the fans. Now, whether it's your style of music, whether it's your style of dress, whether it's your style of performance, and when it comes to branding, you have to know your niche. You have to know what it is about you as an artist that attracts fans. Most artists do not know themselves. Most artists are just rappers, singers, musicians, but they're not really looking at themselves from the outside and really trying to figure out what is it that attracts the listener. Why is it that the fans gravitate to them? Me, I know my brand. I know my brand because I put in work with creating my brand. I didn't know I was creating my brand. All I was doing was digging me a lane out. I love music, so I made sure, okay, if I couldn't rap, I made sure I got around people who was doing music. So if I couldn't rap per se, I figured out how to help them achieve what it is they wanted to do. So my brand started becoming someone to holler at when you needed an outlet. You know, I didn't know that was gonna become my brand because I'm an artist myself. Never thought I would become the guy that bands and other artists reach out to when they're looking for an outlet. I only did that just out of necessity because I needed this. I'm addicted to the music. I'm addicted to the game. I love the whole art of creating. So it's like I have to be doing something for myself, for others, and you know, just to touch on the part about the budget, people don't realize that you have to know how to spend your budget too. You have to know how to do research on. There's millions of companies out here that tell you they'll do millions of things for millions of dollars. But unless you do your research, all you're doing is putting money into a money pit. It's a hole. You thinking you're getting results, but you don't see the efforts of your results. Like we just did. We just did a little situation with a company called PR Web. And am I saying too much, V? No, don't even matter, son. PR Web, right? But they telling us spend this money X amount of months and we'll keep doing this and doing that. I said, yo, before I spend any more money, let's see what the results is of what we already spent. Let's see if it works for our brand, because they trying to tell us how to attract more fans and attract more listeners. But mind you, I don't know if they sat down and listened to what I'm on the Cook-Up Show. I don't know if they watched my grind on Twitter, Facebook. I don't know if they really did research on us as an artist to try to tell us how to strategically market to our brand. I'm thinking, okay, they see people hungry. We are thirsting to get heard and be seen. So, you know, they put that in your ear. Oh, you know, you need to do this. And if you spend a couple of more dollars, you could get this. And this is where you want to be. But as a result, to be honest with you, V, I don't really see, I saw small benefits of dealing with them, but I don't see the overall outcome as how they sold it to us.
See,
personally.
But look at and look, we done slipped into a quick business meeting while we doing the interview. But I mean, that's a case in point though, that spending that money, you have to know, because first of all, we took that gamble to see, and we did it at a level where it didn't hurt us too much, but we took a chance to see if it was worth investing any more money. And your case in point gives me my mental note, like, you know what, we know we could utilize them for specific things. And just to still a moment and add on to the branding, as brother Easy Breeze said, OB&Y, and correct me if I'm wrong, brother, Office Boys New York, our brand strengthened when it was a lot of people. Look at the industry. They always coaching people to be everybody else or be that hot seller. Office Boys NY was proud of who we was. So it was more about, we was comfortable with our brand because we knew who we was. We wasn't scared to show the people that, look, we control our power. We own our music. This is what Office Boys NY is about. It's not just about being in the office. We don't just talk that talk. I could go in the office right now and show you some copyright papers. I could go show you title registration things. So our brand became more about empowerment. Like, we have the power, but we give it away too fast. And Office
and let's talk about that real quick, because that was one of the things that Smith and I was mentioning yesterday. You know, it's kind of like the indie versus the industry, but yet we do need their promo, we do need their marketing budget, we do need their legal counsel. So how can a indie artist sustain and not want to hurry up and jump over into what they think is a security net? But to your point, Dom, they always want to, bring you in, you're talented, but let's change you to be this bubblegum pop person. Let's change you to be this, you know? So what kind of advice can you guys give to an independent artist to be able to, you know, sustain on their own, keep their brand like you guys have done, but also know, you know, number one, you need to be copywritten. It doesn't cost what they think it costs. You can copyright this stuff for $25. You know, people don't realize that stuff. So what are you guys doing, and what advice can you give to them on those points?
Yo, V, let me
go ahead, Money King.
Nah, because she said something about change. Let me just say, don't be afraid of change. I'm not afraid of change. For one, I'm gonna just be honest. My record that made rotation was called I'm Grinding, and I recorded it and I did it. I said I wanted to do a record that gave you the vibe of auto-tune, but without using auto-tune. so that when I perform it live, you get the same energy that you hear on the record versus having to use some type of mechanical device to make you sound like the record. Okay. I sends it to my producer, Bang Out. He mixes the song and sends it back to me with auto-tune on it. I'm livid. I'm salty, like, yo, word? Like, you gonna auto-tune me, son? Like me, the ultimate MC? Like, what? Like, that's what you gonna do to me? I said, yo, Villa, listen to this, man. He's like, ah, man. It took me a month. It took me a month to get comfortable with the record. You know what I did? I contacted my man, program director at a radio station. I said, yo, how do you feel about auto-tune? He talked negative about it. I said, what would you say if I had a record with auto-tune on it? You know what he said? Let me hear it. I gave him both records, original and auto-tune. He threw both records on the radio. The fans gravitated to the auto-tune. So at that moment, I had to embrace change, because if not, I wouldn't be where we at right now, because I wouldn't have that record in rotation. I wouldn't have gained that type of fan support and fan base behind the record, even though I was against auto-tune. I don't co-sign auto. I understand the concept of auto-tune. It's about automatically tuning your vocals so that you know you don't sound off, like you don't sound like a chicken being choked. But that's just going to change. That's just my PSA to indie artists. Don't be afraid to change if the change does not impair you as an artist. Because sometimes that little bit of change may be all you need to open up that gateway, and then you could basically supply them with what you want them to know. I just had to put that out there, V, because that change, like, I don't want people to like miss opportunities because they so stuck on this is me, this is how I am, and that's it. Because I would have missed that opportunity. And I'm mad I took a month to put the record out. You know what I mean? Behind auto-tune, you know what I mean? I had to change.
But look, it took you. I think and the add on to the briefcase juice on them, like what indie artists need to understand. We took it from our own thing. I mean, I signed like we was talking about. I signed the doo-doo contracts. I did all of that. You know what I mean? So nothing felt worse than me. I felt like, excuse my French, I felt like a skeezer. Like, I'm writing these songs. I'm sitting here dedicated to the craft, and somebody robbed me. You know what I mean? And they didn't care nothing about my craft. So one thing for me is I learned from James Brown as well. Like, you look at these artists who, for one, you sign to a label and you don't understand your contract. You writing your songs, you crafting them, and little do you know, once you sign that contract, in most cases, you don't own your works no more. The label does. So to us, how we started to sustain our stuff is, I said, look, I don't want whatever blah 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 his name is in the corner office owning the rights to my records 60 or 45, 75 years later. Do your homework on the copyright statute. I want my kids to own that. So the office boy stance became we gonna stand our ground. Yes, we need the big marketing budgets for help. Of course, if we want to do, videos, that's $100,000. But when you be realistic, you can make a living from this. So when you sign to a label, I watch many people, they sign to a label, they relinquish their power. Next thing you know, a couple years later, if their record wasn't as successful, they now they punching the clock for the record label. They have nothing to show for it. You don't have a career, and that's what indie artists need to know. Like, I made the conscious decision not to work a 9 to 5. I said, I'm gonna do this every day, day in and day out, until results that I need to see is proven. And I think sometimes everybody don't have that in them, so they quick to relinquish their power to the label, and thinking the label has their best interests in heart. But the label is just about business. They don't care about your craft. So for indie artists, we got to be a lot more resilient, and we use power a lot. We say power a lot, and we don't just say that word because it sounds fly. We want people to understand that even though they have those big marketing budgets and they have that money, at the end of the day, they need the content from the artist. If you look at any successful artist, from Pac to Big to anybody, they became that big because they remained true to themselves. Now, if you're an indie artist and you have that type of power with your label and yourself, your career can now be built. You can feed your children off this, and this is what I want to do. We figured out how to just not just rap. We figured out how to take music and make a career of it and feed our kids.
Thank you.
So this is why we stand still on our indie stance, because now my children, they could own my records instead of a record label, and I feel good about that. Because if I go any day tomorrow, at least if my records is still spinning, not nobody in a dusty record label is getting my money. That's going to the kids. So when you in this business, you gotta understand that it's bigger than just rapping. It's bigger than just standing on the stage and doing this. You have to know how to start paying your bills and feeding your kids. You could buy diapers with this music money. You could
So, you know, with that said, tell me this, and just to let you know, Smith, your thing is muted again, so unmute yourself.
He turned up.
But, unmute yourself, Smith. But with what you just said, what was it, like, what was the aha moment for you? Like, you know, all this stuff, obviously, you didn't just wake up knowing. So, like, what is it that you went through that, you know, made you do the research on copywriting, do the research on how record companies operate and how they control your stuff, and yeah, they put your record out, but you don't really own it anymore. So what was it that made you come to that, okay, something's wrong here, I got to do some research, you know, I can't have this happen to me. So what was it for you?
That's a beautiful question. If I could, I really share this story, and my brother know that, but I only share it with select few, and I feel so at home. I'm gonna share this story. When I was like 15, I was like 15 years old. I signed my first management contract with a management company in Canada. Went to Canada. I ran away from home because my mom didn't want to sign the contract. I'm 15 years old. I don't have no passport, no nothing. So I'm doing all this, but it was in pursuit of the music. So we came back home and we got an indie deal from the demo we cut. The guy we signed to, he, again, we not reading the contracts. We hungry. He owned all the publishing rights. He owned the rights to the song and everything. Couple years passed. Well, not even a couple years. A year passed. I'm seeing other people in the on the label. They wearing fly clothes. They wearing a lot of things. But my group wasn't getting no money. So I started to hear we selling records across seas. So I'm like, we selling records across seas, but I'm still eating Twinkies. Like, how dudes is buying Benzes and I'm still on the LIR on the 4 train. So for me, it became like I can't have nobody rob me like this, especially if it's something I feel so passionate about. So I was always taught knowledge is the true richness. Knowledge is the true wealth. So instead of waiting for people to start sharing me, yo, this how you do it, I took it upon myself at 16 to start reading the book of The Business of Music. And I started to go to seminars and things of that nature, because I said, you know what's one thing they can't rob me of? That knowledge. And then when after I found out that we was getting, you know, kind of robbed for our money we was selling overseas, and then I had my son, it was like, that's it. Because when you robbing me, you robbing the baby formula out of his mouth. So that encouraged me to start and empower myself and gaining more knowledge on how it is I'm gonna survive in this game and how to turn this into.
What's going on? What's going on over there, Smith?
I'm trying to get it right. Am I missing?
Yeah, I'm like looking at you. I'm like, you can't even sit still. I'm gonna have to tie your ass.
Not up here. Nah, you know, I got a house full of family. You know, it was a death in the family, so it's a lot of in and out going on. I was just trying to get to a quiet place. Can you see me though?
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
So you know what? I do have a question from an audience participant, which is my girl Melina Lawrence. She just typed a question for you guys.
Okay.
And I'm like, what advice can you give an indie? She says, how should an indie start their day mentally? Like, you know, what's the mental workout that an indie needs to wake up with and get their grind on for the day?
You got that.
ownership. I think you should wake up feeling like a slave that want to get free. I wake up every morning feeling like Harriet Tubman. Word out. I'm trying to escape poverty. I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to empower my people. You know, for me, I went to school, and I went to school because I had so many recorders that I wouldn't let nobody hear because of the sound quality. Everybody had Pro Tools, but nobody knew how to use it. I'm like, yo, how the whole hood got Pro Tools, don't nobody know how to properly use it? I'm like, nobody been to school? So I found a school that teaches Pro Tools, and that's what got me on my business path. So, I mean, as an Indian, when you wake up, your whole motivation, how can I expand myself? What DJ can I reach out to? What radio station can I reach out to? What can I do with my social networking link where I could bring attention to myself? Every day you should be trying to bring more attention to yourself, trying to reach out to more radio stations, reach out to more magazines, more blog sites, just anything, just staying active. I think when you wake up, your whole mission should be activity. I'm trying to create activity because activity is a buzz.
That's very true. And you know, in one of my social media classes, I always teach about marketing. And I tell people, think about if you're in a car and you're listening to, out here it's like KNX, 1070, KFWB, whatever you listen to get your traffic, right? So, you know, when you're listening to that, there's those annoying commercials that sometimes I'm like, ugh, that commercial. You know, it's like 1877 cars for kids and keys on Vanessa. You know, but it worked, right? Because I just recited each one of them. I may not use them, I may not like them, but it worked. So that's the whole point of marketing. When you stay on a grind and stay in front of people, regardless of whether, I mean, think about it. Even some mainstream artists, they come out with new songs. I don't like that song, but they play it enough, and I like that song.
Right.
You know? So it's really about staying, like you said, in front of your audience, and you know, just really just staying on your grind and really pushing yourself, because that's all the record companies are going to do for you with their marketing. So why can't you do it for yourself in an era of where we have what we are on YouTube right now for free. We have Twitter for free. SoundCloud used to be free, still is to a certain extent. But my point is, you have all these resources that were never there before, you know, that the independent artist has, which is why we kind of have the upper hand right now. But it's like the scales get tilted because, again, all the things that we've been discussing, a lot of the indie artists, they don't implement, you know, like, I got to stay on the grind. I got to educate myself. I need to copyright my stuff. Okay, I don't know how to do that. Let me Google. I mean, you Google everything else.
Right.
You Google how to catch a man, how to get a husband, you Google all that stuff, but you can't
Google. Tell you
Google.
wrong.
But you can't Google and go research how to protect your livelihood. So I will never understand that. But again, that's what people do. So let's talk about that for a minute. Actually, I'm going to ask Eric. Eric, do you want to jump in on that point?
I was agreeing with you. I mean, I was just thinking, you guys are the speedboat. They're the big luxury liner out there. They're playing through the water. But we hear about new social media channel. Every time that there's an opportunity for you to speak, you don't have to go through the different channels to say, hey, get this approved and do this. You're doing it. And whatever is wrong, you're putting it out there. And it's going to improve your contacts. And that's the real bonus of the independent artist, is that you have the opportunity to explore anything out there, right or wrong, say anything you like, wrong, without building what you guys have already started, the brand. Making a movement that you can speed through the waters, cut right, whatever you like, as long as you're trying to, move in that right direction to be successful. The other have the luxury of having a big ship and having everybody moving. It may be slow. They catch up. They have the challenges, the challenge to exploit. You guys are exploring the new waters. You can go out there and fly as right. And a lot of things you've been saying, I think, for that, because you And I think,
Oh, that good.
I think every independent artist needs to hear.
Right. And
Appreciate you.
and I think part of the problem with indie artists, they don't even realize they artists. They think they rappers and singers and DJs. They forget the artistry side, the art. Once you start considering yourself an artist, meaning a creator of originality and authentic words, then you start viewing what you create different. Because most indie artists don't go into the game thinking about making hits. They think about making music. They're not really doing the knowledge on the game, listening to the radio. What is it that people like? What is it that people don't like? What is missing from the game? Where can I get in? Where can I get in where I can touch their ears and kind of tease them with something they used to?
Contribute. How can you contribute and make this better? I just had to plug that in.
Exactly, because you know me. I'm speaking on what Khymberlee was saying about with the commercials on the radio. I'm gonna tell you the alien side of me. When I hear those commercials, I think, yo, how can I get my music in the background? Because that's part of that revenue stream for indie artists. They keep thinking about the radio. What about video games? What about commercials? What about jingles? What about soundtracks?
Licensing, y'all.
What about exactly licensing? That's the key loophole for indie artists. Licenses, because you don't need a label. All you need is hit music and no fear added. People give up too easy, especially our. It's too hard. It's taking too long. It's not gonna happen overnight, man. It's not.
They want the fast food career. And if I could just use something that my man E. Breeze said, they could be on that luxury cruise liner. You know what I mean? But I seen Titanic and Poseidon. After that happened, what happened? It was on the little boats that brought them to safety. You know what I mean?
Swim.
Yeah, so that's what we on. We'll stay on that little boat. It might be cold, you know what I mean? We might still be paddling. I think we got up to a motor now. Right. We'll stay on that until we get there, you know what I mean?
And if you don't know how to swim, you better learn how to float.
Yeah.
The caveman float, first thing I learned in swimming class. Like, at least I know how to survive. I might not know how to swim, but I know how to stay alive, and that's the key. Once you do that, then you work on moving forward, man.
And that's what I'm saying for these artists to learn. You know, it's kind of like, again, if you want to be independent, you have to own it, and you truly have to be independent. It's like a kid talking about, I can't wait to leave my mama's house. I can't wait to get out and get my own place. Then they get out and get their own place, and the rent comes due. Mama, can you help me pay my rent?
Right.
It's like, you know, you can't have it both ways. So either you're going to ride on the coattail of a label, and the labels, I'm not knocking labels if you have a fair contract. So all I'm saying is if you go that route, you just have to be smart enough and not jump into signing something and actually getting someone on your side, not their legal people saying that we're on your side, but your own attorney or anyone with some knowledge on reading contracts so that you're not getting screwed. Right. But, you know, and then being independent, meaning that means taking the time to educate yourself about business. You know, just not just the copyright, not just understanding how they operate, but let's get into marketing, because you don't have the marketing department, the artist development department. You don't have all those departments. You are all those departments. So if you don't know, either surround yourself by people who do know, or educate yourself, and don't be afraid to get a mentor. I had a wonderful mentor from old school Hollywood, which is how I learned how to produce and put on good shows, and you know, and just kind of be cutthroat when it comes time to put on a good show, because at the end of the day, no one cares about what drama you have behind the scenes. All they care about is the finished product that they paid to sit in front of to see. That's all they care about at the end of the day. But marketing is a big thing, and it's so much on marketing right now, especially with social media being so vast. But social media is just an outlet to help you with your marketing. Marketing isn't just social media. Marketing is marketing. Do you know who your target market is? Right. Like, you know, because at one point, Listic Radio, we were on a journey to go to Sirius Radio. And, you know, I thought about it. Actually, the later part of this year, I talked about it with Melina and Angie and my girlfriend, Gigi Sweet. And we thought about it. And, you know, when you look at who our demographic is, and I'm putting this out there so people can think about it. Yeah, you know, it sounds good to be on satellite and this and that, but did you know you had to pay for satellite?
Mm.
So you got to know your audience, because my audience, I know for a fact, would rather spend $12 a month on a bag of weed than they would on subscription. I mean,
Right.
it sounds jacked up, but it's real.
No, it's the truth.
So
It's the
if
sad
I
truth.
would jump over to satellite radio, just say, "Oh yeah, I'm on satellite. Yeah, that sounds good." But okay, you got to buy the little $100 gadget so you
Mm.
can listen to me, or you can buy the subscription online. But in either case, it takes money for them to listen to me every month. And
Mm.
even Oprah's fans, Oprah, she's still doing okay on satellite, but she's not doing as good as she used to be because people now have to pay to hear her.
Mm.
So you have to know your target market and see if they have that revenue. Say hello, cat.
The
Goodbye, cat.
cat woke
So,
up.
but you have to
Yeah.
know your audience to see if that's feasible for them. And I know that my audience, I would lose over half of my audience if we went to satellite, because listen to Khymberlee, back of weed. So we get the weed. I like you, Kim, but we gonna get the weed.
But I think you point out one very important thing, though. I mean, even as an entrepreneur or artist, as an indie artist, you have to know what you want. When you know what you want, you can work towards it. You could see what resources or what people, like you said, the mentors or people in the industry who've done that before you, who you can align yourself with, so your journey won't be as rough. You have to know what you want, because if we done did it. Sometimes we don't went out there and just tried things, and some of them didn't work and some of them did. But when we focused on more of what we wanted and what we wanted to project and what we wanted for our careers, our vision got a lot clearer. It got a lot clearer. So don't just wake up and say, "Yo, I want to be a rapper," because guess what? There's grandmas rapping out here. I could go out here to the store right now and get a little dude that'll rap. So the market is straight saturated. So marketing, like you point out, Kim, is a very important key. And what I gotta understand is marketing is not just you hear me and you see me. Marketing you could take to different levels where you could smell me or you could taste what's going on. You have to appeal to all those senses as people, because like you said, if somebody can't, you got to figure out a way when they can't afford to get to you, how can I get to my audience? Or how can I make it convenient for my audience to get to me? And these things you have to consider. And I was taught the best, if you yourself can't do it, outsource. Get your nephew that might be the computer geek that can do what you can't do. You know what I mean? Get your girlfriend that know how to do the t-shirts.
Right.
If you can't do it yourself, surround yourself around them people who can help you do that. Like Kim said.
And you know what? I got a free idea for all my indie artists out there. This one I'm gonna give y'all free. If y'all want to send donations, you can hit up Khymberlee, Littleville Pub on the PayPal. We gladly accept donations. But this little tad bit of information I'm about to give out, I learned this from studying rock bands. Because indie rock bands got the illest grind, because they grind with no fear. Rappers got an ego complex. Rappers and R&B singers, they think it it's all about their swag, or it has to be a certain way. It doesn't work. But here's the free tip I say to all indie artists: if you got a fan base and you making good music, and you definitely got a fan base, here's what you do. Get your camera, set up, get on Ustream, right? Go to Ustream, set up your PayPal account, right? Do a live concert in your living room, in your garage, and check your fan base. Charge them $1 through PayPal. You could set up the payment right on Ustream, and you could charge people to view you live on Ustream. And if you got a fan base, how you say you got a fan base, if they want to see you, they'll spend that little dollar to check you out.
Yeah.
Now I haven't did it myself, but I seen the rock bands do it, because they're set up right in their garage. You know what I mean? They set the camera up, go through the Ustream, and they'll do 2-3 hours. That's jamming. They promote it as a concert. Really, they're just practicing. They just jamming. You know what I mean? But they made a couple of dollars though, just off of wow. I want to see them jam. Go to Ustream, log on to the Ustream, go into the PayPal, spend that little 99 cents, swipe that card. It might not work for everybody.
They pay for their rehearsal, and that's awesome.
Exactly. Though, but
Giving
again,
them you.
engagement.
views, pick up
Huh?
them views.
Engagement though, that's marketing right there.
It
And
is.
I got a marketing question for you, Khymberlee.
Hold on, bro. Say that word. You know that's my favorite word. Say that word
Engagement.
one
That's
more time.
engagement right there. Engagement. Marketing. And I got an OBNY question for Khymberlee.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna love this.
Uh-oh.
I want to know how she got her name at the bottom of her screen. Because that's what we need. We need Ober's Boys New York at the bottom for the cook-up. That's marketing, right? I love it. See what I'm saying? That's marketing right there.
Good.
Subliminally. Because every time I look at the screen, I'm seeing your name. I see Lipstick Radio. So it's being embedded in my psyche, though.
Well,
A
you
lot
know
of
what?
technology
We're
going
going to
on.
make sure we set you up with that next time. It's just a little cameraman tools on the side.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody got access to that.
You hear that, V?
I see your Golden State, Eric. He's like shimmying that in the camera.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay, look, Melina has another question for you guys. So she
Melina's
says,
strong.
do you think today's music fans are forced to like and listen to today's music and artists? And if so, how can indie artists interrupt the mainstream same song rotation? Because that is true. It seems like they just force certain things on us. I'll never forget, before you guys answer that, I'll never forget when I went to, I think it was 94, whatever it was, the beat. It was the beat at the time. And I was helping out a rap artist at the time. And when I went there, he loved the song. And the song, honestly, would still fit in today's music because that's just one of those groove songs, right? And he said, you know, it's a good song, but our audience ain't going to like it. They want to hear, you know, basically they wanted the gangster rap stuff where you had to bleep out every other word. So my question to him was, well, how could you possibly speak on behalf of your entire audience, your entire listener base, and not even give them a chance to hear it? I'm like, you know, and that goes to that control, what Melina's alluding to, because it's that same song rotation. It's people, you know, doing favors for one another. Oh, I know homeboy. Oh, he slipped me some money under the table. I'm going to spend the hell out of this song. You know, so what can indies do to, like, disrupt that mainstream thing, you know, so that we can, like, ease up in there?
First word I will offer is innovation. You know what I mean? Your thinking has to be innovative, especially with us being indie artists. You gotta constantly know how to do things differently, how to intercept and how to inject yourself in a matrix to where you could get some of that crowd space. And to be honest, consumers don't buy into that. Some consumers are not buying that BS no more. You know what I mean? They not locked into the usual stations. If you with the playing field being level, you got so many internet radio stations. You got so many FM radio stations that it is consumers out there looking for your music. You just not have to know how to place yourself and look for those resources to get out there. Where you can get with maybe an internet radio station that are playing the major artists, but they are holding out their hand to bring in that indie artist. You just have to be real diligent and innovative in finding those ways on how to interject yourself within this big plethora of artists in industry that's going on.
You know what? I got 2 points to add to that, my brother. One,
Are you comfy? Hold on. Are you comfy?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm comfortable.
I just want to make sure you're comfy.
I am. I had to get comfortable. I'm fighting the energy right now. You know what I mean? So I'm good. One of the things is there is a very much unlevel playing field right now for FM radio versus digital radio. Let me just explain something. FM radio is trying to figure out how to capitalize off of this social media wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to work backwards. They basically have to figure out how to attract more listeners via the internet versus people in their vehicles. Now, the advantage of the indie artist is that cable, satellite, digital, streaming, all of that is online. Smartphone, tablets, computers, it's accessible. So you got the upper hand versus FM radio. So you already have an untapped market of avenues, but the indie artists have to know how to promote themselves and let people know, hey, this is where my song is. You know, I'm gonna let out another jewel. V, stop me when I talk too much, son. I know you got the duct tape somewhere.
I got
you. But this the whole thing, though. You want to get on FM radio? What we learned is that radio is really part of the community, supposed to be. So if FM radio is not playing what the community wants to hear, there is a way for the community to shut down FM radio, even though it's ran by corporate America. All it takes is a petition amongst the community as a whole saying that we no longer go this station in our in our area because they do not serve the purpose of it. Which they don't do that. Of course, nobody thinks about that. But imagine if you got 100,000 people sign a petition saying that we no longer want the radio station to broadcast in our area because they do not support the independent artists that live here. They have no other choice. By law, they're gonna have to subside or they're gonna have to shut down. But who's gonna rally that? You got to be able to stand. It's same way like in the '60s, the same fight. We fighting for the same freedom, except it's just in the music game. I think. You know what I mean? And here's the key though. Another Jules B. Don't get the duct tape yet. You go to FM radio. This is the thing we learn, V. You know I like to let the secrets out the bag. Because what I learned, it don't matter how many secrets you tell people, they're not gonna do it anyway.
Listen power. I think these listeners might be
all right. So let me sit up for this.
Okay, look. See the screen without everything. Here we go. This is the thing. When you go to FM radio, you want to get your song on an FM radio station in your area, and you want to compete with those majors, but feel like you ain't getting no love. This is what you do. You find the program director, the music director. You get their emails, right? When you send their music, this is what you do, though. It's strategic. You say, I am submitting my songs for test spins. That's the key terminology. Test spins. As a test spin, they have to accept that and play it. Now, here's the OB and Y part. This is what it's going to cost you if you get that PayPal ready. But this is where the cha-ching come in.
It's already on that.
When you submit your record for test spin and they play your record, now your job is to get on the phone. Yo, Villa, yo, Breezy, yo, Khymberlee, they about to play my record at 7 o'clock, y'all. Listen in the radio station. When they play it, yo, tweet them. Tell them how much you love it. Call in, request it again. And yo, matter of fact, as soon as they finish playing it, call in again, tell them you missed it. You need to play it again. You know what the radio station going to say? This record is getting a lot of attention, and that's what they want. Because when they get attention, they get listeners. When they get listeners, you got analytics that they can show their sponsor to say, hey, we got 10 million listeners. Of course, you want to have your product broadcasted on our station because of all our listeners. And now you have slipped yourself into the matrix of competing with these major artists just by submitting your song as a test spin.
Yep, that's how.
I see my man Doc. I gotta salute my man Doc over there because he's action. He's injecting what we need to say. He got a point. Because on the side he said as an artist you shouldn't have to do that. Management should do that. We had a couple stumble managers. You know what I mean? We had a couple managers that wasn't working proficient. So sometimes as an indie artist, yeah, they do come and go, but sometimes an indie artist, you have to drive your career. You can't say, all right, he didn't plug me into the show, or he didn't contact that PR person, and then your career falls short, and you like this. You, and you. At the end of the day, indie artists need to know when you wake up and you go to sleep, guess what? You're going to be the one and only person who is going to grind for yourself like nobody else has grind. Like nobody else. So of course, as in, you think sometimes I'll be tired. Like, yo, I don't want to do that, but I done fell asleep at my Mac because I know,
That's absolutely true.
Yes, right, that putting in that work, I don't, sometimes I would love the luxury of a manager, but I'm going to tell you what, a manager get burnt out off of OBNY. I'm going to tell you that. If they're not performing to our standard and they not doing what we need to do, then that manager might have to hire us. So as indie artists, you would love the luxury, and it's important. Let me not leave out, indie artists need a supportive and strong team. Sometimes you don't get it. You would love everybody in your family to support you and do what you would love them to do. But unfortunately, we don't. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it real. Half of our new team and our support has come from people we don't even know. They seen the grind that money kid coming. And I'm going to tell you, people don't know, and I got to salute my brother because, yo, Smith will make you turn off your notifications if you're not ready. But when you go to your timeline, you got to know that our album is getting ready to drop. I'm sorry, but these are the things these are the things it takes when you rock these indie shoes, and that's what I mean when I go back to you have to really want this. You know what I mean? You have to really want this. Sometimes me and my brother, we done went to a show and we got high expectations for the show. We get there, it's one mic, it's maybe a half a speaker, but it's people there. So we don't say, you know what? We going home. We'll go pass the CDs out. We'll talk to the DJ. We might show the DJ something, and he might be a little enthused because our energy, and he might call his man to get a speaker. So as an indie artist, you got to understand that you in that driver's seat. And when your car break down, you got to get ready to walk or hop on that bike or call your homeboy and y'all all trump together.
You know what? I got no PSA for them indie artists based upon that's tagging on what you said, V, about with the shows. Look, let me just say this. Indie artists, don't be afraid not to perform at a show you was booked to perform. Because at the end of the day, if the mic system sounds whack and the speaker system sounds whack and you still perform, all the fans know is that you sounded whack. They don't know that the mics was whack, that the speakers was blew out. Because it's been many times with me and V, I say, yo, V, check this out, son. I'm not trying to get on stage and perform and kill my brand all because of the sound system. And that's the other thing for you, indie artists, y'all need to know. We learned by trial and error. You know how many times we go to shows, we 25, 30 deep, right? Everybody eager to get on stage, ain't nobody man to the sound man, though. Make sure he got the right CD. Make sure he got the right song order. Make sure the volume up loud enough. You know what I mean? You forget about that. Then you get on stage like, all right, you think you about going to your second song, somebody else track come on. Now you're like, hold on, what's going on? Now you looking real silly on stage. And y'all 25 deep. Everybody enjoying the fame of being on stage. Everybody looking at the sound man like, what happened? But the fans looking at you like, oh, I mean, we've been through that though. You got to go through that to learn, but no longer, no more. No more, because I know exactly what to ask. I know who to go to. I understand the language. And don't forget, V, when we first got our records out there, I got a notebook right now where we got our records on the radio. I studied the radio. And I wrote down every time our song was played for like 3 to 4 months. I still got it in my notebook. Every time the song was played. You know what I mean? So after 3 months, I say, yo, V, you see how many times our song's been played? So he's like, yo, we in rotation, bro. Ain't nobody told me we in rotation, but when I look at 3 months of no sleep and just looking at, yo, son, these records were playing while we were asleep, bro. Like, we in rotation. You know what that means, right? Time to turn up now, son, because we got them. We got the fish on the line. Don't let the line go now. It's time to move, man. Any artist, don't be afraid, man. Step outside your box.
Okay.
Find like-minded people. Yes.
You know what? I think I know Eric had a question, so I'm going to let Eric answer. Hopefully, Eric, your connection is good enough so we can hear that voice there.
Go to state.
Hit him with the barrier.
Go to state. You gonna make me come dunk on you? Don't make me come dunk on you, man. Wait. Why y'all laughing? No. Why y'all laughing?
You're balling for real.
I play ball.
I would love to see you dunk on him. I would love to see you dunk on him. That's good marketing right there.
No. Okay, let's get it straight. I don't dunk, okay? But my defense is off the chain. You will not get by me. Yeah, I'm just telling you now. You won't get by me.
Okay. Hey.
Forget you, Eric. I see that.
It sounds like a challenge, Breezy.
Oh, we've had that challenge before.
What was the end result?
We all have dreams.
He got around.
Everybody want to be like Mike, right?
End result, he got around me twice out of 13 tries. So bam.
Oh, that's good then. That's a good balance.
Whatever.
That's dope though.
To the topic. I really want to say, guys, it's like, I work with a lot of authors and writers, and, just to get those authors to break out of their shell, they are artists just like you guys. And sometimes they focus just on the art of writing, that they forget their audience or forget that, somebody is reading their work, and they've got to reach to their market. They've got to do the book club, do the book fairs and the interviews, and get on radio and stay on top of all that. And that I just tweeted out, hey, I wish all the writers and authors, all my friends who are in there, were listening to what you guys had to say. I do have one question for you guys. Who do you want to collaborate with? Who do you want to work with? Who's out there on your wish list that you guys want to help in, furthering your art or what you want to do music?
I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the game, the industry. I really have no desire to work with nobody. You know what? I would love to work with. This is gonna sound odd from left field, but Barris Hammons. I don't know if everybody's familiar with who Barris Hammons is. He's a reggae artist, but his songwriting abilities is so dope. And I was just telling my brother that if he was an R&B artist, or if he was had Americanized marketing, he would win crazy American Music Awards right now, crazy Oscars, because he's been around for years. But reggae doesn't get the same love as hip hop, so there is no reggae category. So outside of that, I don't listen to too much other artists outside of me and my brother. And now that we've been doing the radio show, I listen to a lot of indie artists. But with me saying that, though, I am open to work with anybody, any genre, gospel, country, rock and roll, spoken word. If you're an author and you write books, whatever. If you're just a creator, if you're not a cook, holla at me. I'm the hood chef. You know what I mean? I come in your kitchen, we chef it up, we put some theme music behind the food. You know what I mean? We holla at Khymberlee, we go live on the joint. You know what I mean? We had E Breezy do some commentary. You know what I mean? That's branding right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm open to work with anybody doing anything creative, positive, and productive.
I second that. I second that. And just to reiterate that, E Breezy, we work with authors as well. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what you mean when authors don't realize that. But as far as working with anybody, like my brother said, anybody that realize their power and recognize their power. And I put it out there. I could tell Mr. Quincy Jones, I don't mind working for him either. You know? Let's do it. I'm more the legacy man. You know what I mean? I want to work with people that respect the culture and add to the culture. So anybody that's about taking what we're doing and to the next level, let's do it. Holla at us at the Office Boys in Y, or we in the office at Gmail, and we open. We
gotta own yourself though. You gotta own yourself, because I ain't trying to deal with the middleman. I will, but I prefer to deal with a boss that, you know what, you can make your decision right now. You ain't got to get back to me. I mean, I don't mind dealing with your manager, your agent. That's all breezy too. But sometimes they bring salt in the game because they're looking for an advantage themselves, and if they can't get it, they might defer the opportunity. You know what I mean? Well, I might present an opportunity for us all to make money, but because they're not getting a big enough cut, they might not encourage you to do that. So I mean, well, you got some people in mind, E Breezy? Well,
E Breezy.
Yeah, I hear business brewing.
Set it up.
What you say, Eric?
With Books of Soul, that's my site, and I would get in touch with so many authors. They think about what can I do to push my book? Well, why not have a soundtrack? Why not have somebody, me, read, for their book? Just to have a soundtrack, or have, a chapter, a song to go along with it, when there's something about, I do want to remember that. Go ahead.
If I could.
Give it to him, V. Go ahead. I already know, bro. Give it to him.
I'm positioned the cat because I'm about to tell you something.
Give it to him, V. Thanks, Khymberlee. I see it.
E Breezy, I'm a lady with power right now, because Queen Kim, you don't know what you just set off the nucleus. E Breezy, that's why we worked with the author Arlene Brathwaite here out of Albany, New York, and she was the birth. She created the birth child called Music Meets Literature, where we do exactly that, where we take an author novel we get an artist, whether it be a R&B artist, a reggae artist, a hip hop artist like ourselves, and we bring that book to life. And the project came because unfortunately a lot of people don't read. I myself went with her on these book events and all that. And when we used to sell books, people like, oh, I don't read that. We like, what, the urban? And they're like, no, I don't read at all. So the author came up with an idea, another innovative way to market herself. He said, if they don't read, how about we create something or music to where we bring the characters to life, and maybe that'll encourage them to read. So I extend that to you, brother. I extend all the authors you working with and all that. I extend you to reach out to us, and that invitation is open to them as well, because through that, through this project, I seen a lot of first-time readers. I seen a young boy that was 17. His mom was gonna buy him the book. He ain't know if he wanted the book, but he got the CD. After he listened to the CD, he thought, yo, if the book is like this, I want to read it. And it worked.
The ball over there. And don't forget, either on the business side, when we do that though,
we need to market their craft out there, because there's so many ways in which people think a book is a book is a book, but it's experience that people can now relate to, whether you have pictures in that book, the next level of having music in that book, or have your social media in that book, so that people can just continue to reach out. And authors aren't, a lot of the authors, I shouldn't say all authors, I know a couple of authors are out there, and I'd love to speak with you as well, and just getting the word out. Need to think along those lines of saying, okay, I know people read, still love to read. There's so many different ways to read. We've got to just continue to think about enhancing that experience so that people can be exposed to it.
And not only do we just create songs, but look, we create the single. We get with the artist. We have them read the book. We get with the author. We get them together. We come up with the music. We do all the paperwork. We make sure everything is published, copywritten. We make sure the author gets a percentage. We make sure the songwriter gets a cut. The composer gets a cut. We press it up. We go digital. We get physical copies. We shoot a video for it, and then we market and promote it. And we encourage that when the author does book signings, that they have physical copies that they can sell, or have the artists themselves there to perform it live. Like, it's so many different avenues to just be able to take advantage of. And an artist who may have an album out, who may not be getting the love they want, may get more love from doing a music meets literature project for a book, because you're reaching a different audience and you're able to perform. You're getting another team behind you.
And they cross marketing.
Right, it's a cross marketing.
Cross market.
Yes, that's it.
That's a
we got the bill, Breezy. Yes, we got the bill. We got the link with him. It's like it's a guided lane. It's a done deal. It was written.
A lot of the authors, I don't want to rob your time, especially in terms of what you're talking about, because I think it's learning not only for the musical artists, but also the literary artists. But my book is sold, what I see from my website, you see a lot of the authors will try to advertise with music, and try to give that 15 seconds hey, what the book is about. But they, that's what they need to relay. But when you expand that out, from saying, okay, well, instead of just saying a commercial, why not make it a full experience? That's when you guys should be right there and saying, okay, you want a music soundtrack for that chapter. You want a music soundtrack for that character. I'm bringing life to that character. You can rap music. You can rap, make it all for that character.
Uh-oh, Eric.
I heard some of it. I heard the bulk of it. I hear it. V, we definitely got to build with E Breezy, son, because
we gonna have a conference.
That cat again.
Breezy, word up.
That cat is on it. That cat loving this conversation right now. Yes, you definitely got to do that. And Kim, you definitely got to get involved with this, and that's the thing, man. I don't mind breaking, if it's money to be made, I don't mind breaking bread with nobody, because there's so much money out here to get. Why be selfish?
Well, you already know that's about to happen, because after our 2-hour conversation yesterday, I told you what I'm on a mission to do, and it seems like it's all in line with what you guys are doing. So I'm just ready to take it to that level.
You hear that, Villa? You hear that, don't you, V?
I hear it. I hear it. You done messed up
An
now.
office queen. She an office queen. I see her working. I see my notifications blowing up. Hey, eat breezy. They in the office. I love it. See,
Well, you
again,
know
though,
what?
that's part of the dream.
We got about 10 minutes left. So
Okay.
before we wrap up, I want to make sure, first of all, you know, I hate doing this just at the end, so we're going to do this twice. So right now, I want you to tell everybody where they can find you. Twitter, Facebook, website, all of that.
Hit the money, kid.
You already know me. Let me see. On Mobley, if you don't know what Mobley is, you need to find out. How you spell Mobley? Yeah, mobli.com. I had to make sure I spelled it right.
Mhm.
Mobley, Instagram, Mobley, Instagram, and Twitter. You could find me at Smiz the Money Kid. That's one word, no spaces, correct spelling, no DA. SMIZTHEMONEYKID. And on Facebook is Levon.Williams. LEVONNE.Williams. Government name. That's me. So I just want y'all to know Smiz the Money Kid. Huh?
We know how to spell Smith because it's right there on your head right now.
Marketing. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Marketing.
Marketing.
See, you got it on your screen. I got it on my head.
There you go.
OBNY. Exactly. It's marketing. If they didn't know who I was, they know now.
Get the other marketing materials. That can happen real soon.
Look, Breezy marketing.
You might have to run and get that so we can put it up before, you know, at the end. So you might want to go grab it.
Right.
But
Okay.
you know what? I have a question for you guys to answer for the indies because we were sending around a survey, and we were trying to get feedback from a lot of the indie artists that we deal with. So, you know, one of the questions to the indie artists on that thing was, number one, how often do people try to charge you to perform? I just think that's ludicrous. How often do people try to charge you to be interviewed and your music played? And then, you know, how in this world where everybody is so used to getting everything free, including this platform that we're on now, how do you get them to pay that 99 cents for your song rather than just, you know what, I'll just download it from somewhere, I'll just wait and listen. But what is the formula for that? Because I personally don't believe in charging an artist to perform. You know, I don't know where that came from, but apparently that's like the thing now. So what do you guys say to that stuff?
For one, they don't respect the artist. They don't respect the indie artists because they trying to charge you money. They trying to beat you in the head because they think all indie artists is dumb. And all they want to do is rap and sing and dance. You know, they just want the fame. So for one, you know, nah, don't pay for none of that. And if you doing what you're supposed to be doing, they gonna want to pay you because they want part of that fan base. And I think the way you get people to spend their 99 cents on you, everybody might not agree with this, but okay, look. Okay, you know how, let's take the marketing of a restaurant. You got a new restaurant that open up, right? I watch a lot of Kitchen Nightmares. I watch a lot of Restaurant Impossible. Told you I'm the hood chef, right? And every time, y'all will see soon. Thank you, Khymberlee. We're gonna bring it live on YouTube. Trust me. We go hard too. Don't get it twisted. We go super hard in the kitchen. But one thing is, I take note from that, right? And when they're trying to relaunch a restaurant with a new menu, you know what they do? They come up with little testers. They give something out for free. So while I may have a song that I know is a hit that I want you to pay 99 cents for, I may give you something. I may tantalize you like, yo, you know what? Let me get you used to my brand. Let me get you used to my sound. And then say, well, in 3 months, I'm about to drop my single, y'all. You know what I mean? And I'm feeding them so that they loving the music so much that they like, yo, you know what? We trust the brand. We trust the creativity. We trust what's going on with this artist. So I don't mind spending 99 cents because look at all these other great records we just got for free. That's not for everybody, but that's just one avenue because everything is free right now. You know, everything is free. And we try to free giveaway when I'm grinding on the radio. And I got to say, we did 1,000 downloads in 15 minutes, and I told the station, yo, cut it. Cut it. Because at first the goal was 100. He said, let's do 25 free downloads. I say, yo, let's do 100. We did 1,000 free downloads in 15 minutes. And I said, yo, V, we just missed $1,000.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. But I saw my fan base. I said, I got an organic fan base out there. I don't know who they are, but they definitely love the record. So, you got to create hit music first, though. That's first and foremost. Know your craft, create hit music. Don't just put together anything thinking because you got a gold chain on and you got a nice car, they're gonna buy your record. Not gonna happen. CB4. So I'm
No,
gonna say, what CB4?
Yeah.
and no, it doesn't happen like that. I mean, even here on Lipstick Radio, they go through my A&R, and that's Angela and myself, and I have the final say so. So if it doesn't sound like I feel it should sound, because having a music background, I know what arrangements should sound like. I know what I should hear. I know how many tracks you should use, and I know you should be using four. Sounding like you using Fruity Loops, or that you got out that old school Casio little keyboard. So,
I ain't mad at Casio. I ain't mad at I ain't mad at the Casio.
but I'm just saying, because a lot of people, I don't always talk about my background, but yeah, I know music. I played instruments. I played four. I don't play anymore, but my ear is not gone. So I know what I'm looking for, and I know what I need. And 9 times out of 10, I'm never wrong. So I've done talent scouting for music companies as well as modeling agencies back in the day. So I know what people look for, and I just hate when people rush in the studio or their version, whatever your studio is. It doesn't have to be an elaborate one, but just take the time to really make a good product. Don't rush it, because you only got one time to make a first impression. You ain't Prince, you ain't Tupac, you can't say, well, I'm just going to throw this out there and fans are just going to get it because it's me. Yeah, well,
Right.
you don't have it like that yet.
Right. Right.
And, for outlet now, there are a lot of other, radio shows, whether it's FM or online, that will play whatever, but I don't do that. I try to make sure that, when you get on Lipstick Radio, that you're listening. I don't want to give my listeners crap. And then I don't think it's fair to the other artists that are really great artists on the show to put them next to crap. So I'm looking at it on both sides. So I really want, the listener and the audience to both, and the artists, to feel proud that they're on the station. And, it's getting more and more known, so I'm loving that. But I want it to be known. But I want it to be known, yes, we support indies, but we really, really look for and go for the good music, the good talent out there. And there's a lot out there. And just because I didn't pick one of your songs don't mean I may not like another song. So just keep going.
I think one thing artists have to remember in creating music can create that feeling. It can evoke that passion. It can make people feel things. And when you're making music that does that, I think the people will resonate with you. When somebody that had a bad day and they hear your song and it kind of provides some light for them, or some influence or some empowerment. Like, we got to get back to that music. Have some type of some respect about the music you craft, because all these listeners out here, if you can make music that's making them feel good, making them want to love their lady, making them want to grind extra harder, making them want to learn something, then you creating music. Let's make music. I challenge indie artists to make music. Just don't do a niche song or something like that, but create music that's gonna make people want to buy into who you are.
You know what? I got a challenge too, because I'm glad you said make some real music, because we were just talking about this with the Good Time show a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if it's anybody else has not noticed, but we noticed, because, lately, I guess in the last few years, there's been a lot of violence, especially amongst youngsters, and all this rap game, all this hate. And where's the love songs at? Remember? Back in the day, we would have these love songs, these slow, sexy, baby-making songs. Where are they at? We not pick one now. Because it just slowly moved itself out, and now you got all this, bumping, grinding, and that's cool. You can have all of that, but remember back in the day, you'd have a record. Even LL Cool J had I Need Love. He had all. You always had one song at least on there that was, baby making, whatever. And we need to bring that back. So my challenge is, who's going to bring that back?
We
I
are.
know, when I went to BET Secret
Exactly.
Stage, when I went to BET Secret Stage last year, Bobby V, you know, the album's out now, but before it was out, he had mentioned that too, and he wanted to get back to real music and real R&B, and that's what he did with this new album, Peach Moon, which I absolutely love, by the way. And so, yes, I'm gonna call y'all out. I need the office boys to get your ass back in the office and create that baby making music at least once.
We got
We done started something.
we got it already. We just got to send it to you. We got it. Cause look, matter of fact, V, you remember the show we just did on the Morning Cook Up? We did a whole show, right? And we said, yo, we're gonna bring it back to a time where there was love in hip hop. I'm talking about, we play I Need Love. We play Teenage Love by Slick Rick. We play Left Me Lonely by MC Shan. We play Cold Wanna Be With Me by UTFO. You talking about I Ain't Having It, MC Light and Positive K. You talking about records that spark emotions. You know what I mean? It wasn't derogatory.
Right.
It was
But
very
we
much
need some new stuff from these new people here now. And you know what? That's the thing, because people don't realize it, and I'm gonna say it because a lot of people just, when I ask people this question, they don't normally know the answer. And I'm sure you guys do. So subconscious works 90% of the time. Your conscious mind only works 10%. So when you're taking in all this negativity and you ain't putting no love music back in there, you can recite that. Did. You know, and then you walk around angry and wonder why you're angry. I'm not angry. Yes, you are. You know, but you know, you're singing love songs, or at least got it in your brain somewhere back there marinating. You get a little bit more calmed down, and you're probably nicer to your woman too. So I'm just saying, we just need some more of that.
You got to understand love, though. A lot of people in our generation don't really understand the concept of love. Love is a verb. It's not a noun. It's something you do.
They don't understand the concept of love, and it's because it's not given to them. We're feeding them how to be booty and titty girls in videos. How to be, you know, who can screw the most women, how to have the gun up here and looking like, you know, yo, what's up? You know, that's what they're being fed. So, and that's cool, but we have to, it's a small group of us that have to take it back over and feed them the other as well, because, you know, they're only going to get what the majority is giving them. So we just got to come in and disrupt that majority.
And I think, but even those
records, V.
Even we got them records on
the XO and the other joint, the joint with the joint with the Luther joint.
Oh,
you know what? I'm gonna talk to you guys on that offline, and we're gonna put that rotation next week.
We are nothing but a word.
We are out of time right now. Any last words you want to say to everybody? And please reiterate all of your social media platforms where they can follow you and find you and all that great stuff. Anybody? Come on now, what's your website?
Here we go. First, engrmusic.com. That's angermusic.com. That's our nucleus. You want to plug in and see what's going on with us? That's our website. It's powered by us. Again, it's engrmusic.com. You go there, you see all of the multi things that we're doing. Then on Twitter, you can reach out to us at Office Boys NY. That's Office Boys NY. Then you got at Smiz Money Kid, at Smiz the Money Kid. Then you got at Littleville Pub. And that's both our Twitters. On Facebook, I'm Dom Witters. On Facebook, Smiz is Levon. Hit him with your joint, because you got so many.
Levon Williams. That's it. LEVONNE Williams.
Yeah, and once you plug into our website and you plug into our Twitters and pretty much that, you'll get everything else. On Instagram, I'm Littleville Pub. On Instagram, he's Smiz the Money Kid. But one important thing is angermusic.com. You'll plug in from everything else from there.
He said it.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for dropping all that fabulous knowledge for everyone.
Thank you. We got to get that contact
in that brain, right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
got to get that info from E Breezy. Yo, V, you in the office, son. Get that contact info from E Breezy so we can get this popping. Then
You know
we got
what?
them authors.
When I sign off of here, you guys stay online real quick, and then we'll make sure we make that happen. But for everybody else that's out there watching, thank you so much for tuning in to Lipstick Radio Sound Booth. And for those of you who want to share this that didn't get a chance to see it live, it will be on our YouTube page and on our website at lipstick-radio.com for you guys to take a peek at. So
Yes, sir.
in the meantime, in between time, stay true and be good. Peace.